That's right. Reusse Unchained time. I didn't realize there were 3 woos now with the new graphic. Very, very nice. Patrick, let's start here. Let's start with the Wild. I was there last night. 11-3 now since John Hines became coach. 7-0 at home. At Thanksgiving, this team was talking about, like, the number 1 overall pick, right?
Yes.
Tank. They are now, if I'm not mistaken, within 1 point of a wild card spot. That's my sport.
And they have done this without Spurgey and Brodeen. Was Spurgey, is one of them back yet? Or they
Nope.
No, they're both still out, huh? And,
Brock Faber, man.
And when I heard a big discussion on them in the middle of November, the whole thing was the defense stinks. They don't have any defensemen. Their defensemen are awful except for Faber. And now 2 of the 3 best defensemen aren't playing. And I don't get it. Now it does help your defense when you're scoring a lot of goals, which is what they've been doing. Is what were they averaging? About 2.5 goals a game, maybe, and now they're averaging 4, probably, right? Since he took over.
Poor Dean is at home right now saying, "What did I ever do? What did I ever do to this collection?"
Yes, and
they're looking this good now.
This certainly hurts Dean's chances of being in the club, right? I mean, if this team, not only if they were to make the playoffs, which it looks like they're gonna, but if they were to advance through a round, my God, that would be the end of Dean forever. Because and Dean's reputation, even as a minor league coach, was that he couldn't do anything in the playoffs. Of course, we should remember that Heinze is 4-15 in the playoffs, right? Is that right? I think so.
Yeah. He kind of ran into the same problems those Wild teams had with the Predators and Devils, especially the Predators. I mean, Nashville, Minnesota, they were always built kind of the same, very good regular season teams that couldn't make it too far. I mean, the Preds made it to the Cup Finals 7 years ago, I believe, but that wasn't with John Hines.
So, but when I look at the West, and I don't look that often, but the Colorado powerhouse isn't the machine they once were. And Vegas is not what they were last year. So, and the crackheads are playing terrible, right? The crackheads are awful.
They're not as good. No.
So, I mean, there's no big power team in the West, is there? Like there was.
Kings are pretty good this year.
Kings
They've
are good,
popped
that's
up.
right.
The Stars, in my opinion, are still pretty dangerous. But yes, I think Vegas and Colorado have come down a little bit, but those teams I also think are built for playoff hockey where they can kind of skate by a little bit in the regular season.
Well, Vegas is what's Vegas? We're dang near ahead of Vegas, are we? They're
no.
Aren't they leaking?
The Wild's at 36 points, which is 2 back of the wild card teams. Arizona and Nashville are at 38. Vegas is at 47 points.
Arizona? Boy, that would be great. If
Arizona's
they
a fun team. Did you see what they did last night? Down 4-0 to the Avs. They came back, tied it, and won in OT 5-4.
Wow. How's Cooley doing?
He's doing okay.
He's good.
They're fun. They're a good little team. And they're playing in that Mullet Arena, which seats about 10 people.
Yeah, pack them in, 5,000. I know that. I wonder if they're having actual fans of their own team there now, because when they first opened it, when the Wild played down there last year, there was about 300 people from Arizona, and the rest were Wild fans, right? When they played down there. So this is an amazing turnaround. It's even Boods, when he went out to Vancouver a couple years ago and turned him around for 2 months, didn't do it this instantly, did it? It's incredible.
This is such a goofy sport, though. That's what makes it half the fun. It's just the goofiest sport. You can be absolutely dead and buried, and you change coaches, and you get that surge, and next thing you know, you're damn near a playoff spot.
And Gustafson started stopping pucks again, which has to help, But it will be interesting. It's you just kind of slap this. This team just has a real slap together look to it, and yet they're doing okay. I mean, the fourth line is basically whoever you can call up from Des Moines who can save you more money that week than the guy, Vinny Lettieri could score 3 goals in a week and he'd still get sent back, so somebody else could make $20 less under the salary cap. It's really weird. I don't understand how that works, but they keep moving these guys back and forth, these nobodies.
The cap's accrued on a daily basis, and so like you are literally pinching pennies day by day. But
guy back, and you don't have. If you send a guy back on Tuesday and you don't have a game until Friday, you
exactly
end up saving.
You accrue money.
Wednesday and Thursday, you save $55 or something.
It's the goofiest thing. But the thing too is this: the Wild salary cap guy is gone. So who's managing the cap? That's my question.
I don't know.
It ain't Billy.
What's the rumor we heard on him that he turned state's evidence? Is that
no? I haven't heard anything. It's all
right?
been kept quiet. And Guerin, I think, has not done anything with the media since this came out. Yeah. And so beyond rumblings and stuff, nobody knows.
And so Guerin isn't even answering. He's not even answering hockey questions. Then he's just not talking.
I don't think he's talking.
No, he goes on the Good Neighbor every week with Chad Reusse, and I don't think he's been on there in the last 2 weeks because of this whole thing.
And he's afraid, because like a guy like Chad, Chad's required to ask the question, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
If you're one of the BSN housemen, you can, if you're Gorgie, you can just ask any old question you want to. But if you're a semi-responsible media member, you have to ask the question, which Chad would have to ask. So, and he's got to do some K-fan hits too, doesn't he, or not?
He goes on with Barrero, or he did, but I don't think he's done that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's that's funny. That's not showing many cojones, is it? To not.
My guess is he's been told to avoid them all. My guess is that they're afraid of some type of legal action, and they don't want him talking. Because I don't think Guerin would.
Can't he just say, "I'm only answering hockey questions"?
Yeah, but Barrero and Chad would continue to push him.
Well,
they should.
Yeah, that's that. But I don't know. I think it's bush league not to address it and get on with your life. You could say, okay, yeah, I guess you can't really get up there and give your version of it, because then
they'll use that against you.
Then they can use that against you. So you would have to almost say, we need Gene Harrington there to say, you want to talk about the boat or you want to talk about Chicago? That's it.
Yeah, the boat of the Bears, Dante.
You want to talk about the human resources complaint, or do you want to talk about the hot streak? That's what we need. Somebody.
How about that 3-hour tour you guys took on the lake a couple of weeks ago, Dante? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, that was the all-timer to say that. So anyway, yes, it's an amazing turnaround. It really is. Be interesting to see how the basketball team. Now they're playing a Dallas team. By the way, Kyrie Irving might be one of America's 5 leading idiots and most unreliable people. Do you see he's now going to miss his 11th game because of a heel contusion? I know the foot is important in basketball, but I want him to tell me it's something other than a contusion. I want an Achilles tear or some damn thing, don't you? Not a heel contusion. He's missed 11. Why would you trade for that moron?
I don't know.
Whose whole deal is, how can I not play this game? What can I do not to play this game? Anyway, that leaves Luka. But last night they blew a 20-point lead to Cleveland, and they're playing a back-to-back here. So you would think our boys could continue their streak of never losing 2 in a row tonight. But then again,
are we sure that Luka's going to play?
Yeah, I don't know if they do much load management with Luka, but if he doesn't play, your chances are increased. He got like 39 last night, and they still got beat. So, plus you got to be, I think going to see Dallas, and we were talking about this yesterday, and them having Luka is more important than going to see the Lakers and them having LeBron, or going to see my Heat and have Jimmy play. I think the only reason you go watch the Mavericks is Luka, right? And that includes that idiot Kyrie Irving on the 5 occasions this season that he actually agrees to play. But yeah, I mean, if you ought to give people their money back if you go to see Dallas and Luka doesn't play tonight. So anyway, but the boys are, they should. Considering Dallas is back-to-back, that should be an advantage, shouldn't it, tonight at the Target Center?
And I don't think they've played. I saw a tweet today. I don't think they've played a back-to-back this season. Horton had a tweet
first
that
ever?
said that the Wolves have not played a back-to-back.
Really?
And
didn't they? No, they've had a couple.
I thought they did, but anyway, if it is 1 or 2, it's a very small amount. So that's a big advantage not to have to play back-to-backs.
So what do we think? What's the harder back-to-back, basketball or hockey?
Hockey.
I guess hockey. I think energy-wise, but I suppose your chances of winning the game if your goalie's not going back-to-back and he has a good game, it's easy to win a game. It's easier to win a game 3-2.
You got more guys in puck as well. In basketball, if I rely on guys, it's going to be probably a fairly small group.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would probably be more stressful on the athletes in basketball because it's more the same guys who have to play, extensively, which is of course why they don't play guys back to back and come up with an excuse, 20 minutes before the game.
So my big topic for this week is, once again, I have been instructed in the new fandom of sports. The homers have taken over completely. You used to say that and a lot of times with strib comments like the twin stuff, it's always the cheap Polads take over. But I have learned another lesson with a good-hearted Gopher column that I wrote after the 41st ranked bowl game in America. It's considered to be this terrible slam against our children who are playing football out there. What is wrong with people? What is wrong with you idiots? They're professional football players now, and the quarterback was built up as an All-American, and he sucked, Gallic Manis, and it's okay to rip him. It's okay to rip him. This is the world. This should be the world we live in. It's not, and we're being celebrated for our tremendous academics over there. It means you have better tutors hand carrying you through college than some other teams, right? That's all it means. You're getting hand carry. You can't flunk out anymore. It's impossible to flunk out. And it's just, how good are your, let's face it. We had Jan Gangelhoff, and it was a huge scandal. It's because we didn't have any tutors to cheat for us. We need, official tutors. She was an unofficial tutor. We have other tutors to cheat for us now. That's all it means.
Here's my question for you, Patrick. Yes. Why did Courtney James have to write a paper on the menstrual cycle? How is that going to help Courtney James in any way, shape, or form? I don't blame him for cheating.
And by reading that, he had to read it to make himself familiar with it when he submitted it, so he learned something.
Exactly. Yes. Jan Gangelhoff educated a young man on something he never would have read about anyway.
Yes,
that's exactly right.
It was unbelievable that we look back now at this horrible scandal. That's why the 1990 Turkey of the Year is the only one that's been vacated. I gave it to Clem because I got caught up in the academic fraud scandal, the most overrated scandal in history.
Oh, the 2000 one? Was Clem?
99. It was Clem.
Oh, okay.
99.
Okay.
We vacated.
So you vacated?
Vacated it. Vacated. Yeah, that one's vacated for Clem. So, but anyway, it's really, you know what though? I'm thinking maybe that was always the audience, the Sid audience, that everything's great. We just didn't hear from them like we do now because it's social media and it's so
Yeah.
the access people have to you is so much easier. Before they used to have to send you an email or go to and even before that send you a letter or something to tell you what a horrible human being you were. But it's very interesting. I'm still getting heat about my Jim Carter column, which included a cheap shot at PJ Fleck at the end, right? Because we were saying it's too bad Jim died before the Wisconsin game. Me and a buddy of his were saying because he could have seen, if he would have known that, he would have hung on 3 more days to see a last humiliation for PJ, who he hated. Well, I heard from his family and they liked it. Okay, they thought it was good. It was not some insensitive thing. A family member contacted me to say he would have gotten a good laugh out of that. So anyway, it's I shouldn't be acting like I'm sensitive though. I don't really care, but it's instructive as to
I think
the homers have taken over.
I think you're offended, rightfully so, because people are actually trying to celebrate this bowl win. That offends me.
Yes. They played. They were down so many players that did.
Yeah.
Well, the other team had half their team not playing too. Bowling Green. Yeah, it means nothing. Look at the bowl scores. The teams that have players actually show up are the ones that are kind of winning now. You've had a lot of upsets. And how about Southern Cal last night? Caleb Williams' replacement threw 6 touchdown passes. Some guy we never heard of. So, but all the guys bailing out of the games and everything. It's just stupid. And
Pat, who do you think Kevin O'Connell names as starting quarterback for this Sunday against the Packers?
I think the rookie. They've said the peak they got yesterday had right. The 10 minutes they watched, he was throwing the passes right. I mean, why not?
They were both throwing passes. We were being secretive. We were being very sneaky.
Was Nick throwing some too?
They split them.
I would. And Dobbs is still not throwing passes though. He's out.
No, I think he's out of the mix.
Yeah.
Well, I would start Dobbs before I'd start Mullins again. Mullins was worse. I don't care if he threw for 400 yards. He attempted. If his best wishes had come through with his throws, he would have thrown 7 interceptions, not 4. He could have set an NFL record with the ducks he was throwing. And so if that's your 2 choices, you got to go. And I don't want to say go with the kid because he's 25 years old. He's he came into the league as a 25-year-old Hall, so you might as well give him a try. I love the fact, though, we've used 4 different starters. Well, if you use Hall, you will, but I don't consider the start he made to be a start because he won series, right? And he got hurt.
Second series, he got hurt.
Second series, he got hurt. So,
yep.
But I would, I guess, why not? How about the guy from Green Bay? Jair Alexander.
Did you see that?
What was he doing?
But his explanation, I had no idea what he was trying to say.
He's just a buffoon.
He used to be a captain, and he stopped being a captain. So was he protesting the fact he was no longer?
No, he's from Charlotte, so he decided to crash the coin flip and name himself a captain without telling the coaching staff. And he ran out there and called it, and he screwed it up, and it was almost a catastrophe. Domovsky tried to ask him, "Hey, you said this, and it could have been really bad," and he completely didn't understand it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he did. Yeah, he didn't say deferred. He said we want to play defense. Right?
We want to play defense.
So, which would have given the option to get the ball for neither half, right?
Yes.
One of the most famous moments in the AFL, the first ever championship game, was the guy came out and for the overtime, and who was the guy? I can't remember who it was, but he screwed up the. Now this wasn't when you somehow somehow he got neither the win nor the ball back then, and going into overtime. What was he? He was a great player too. I can't remember what his name was, but that was a famous coin flip that the guy took nothing. He did. We don't want the 20-mile-an-hour wind, and we don't want the football. Damn it!
But what is this guy's problem, Jair? It's like, what are you doing? Just ask LaFleur, say, hey, can I go out there for the, and I won't talk. I'll shut up. I won't talk. But I'd like to be out there. But he runs out there. Now he's been suspended for a game. I'm telling you, I love pro sports. Just goofy.
Yes, there's the mind is a mysterious thing, and tonight we don't get to see the rare game when my favorite idiot, Kyrie Irving, a proud Duker. I think he only stayed 1 year though, right? He was a one and done, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he still thinks the earth is flat, which we all thought at first he was joking. He wasn't joking. That was no joke. He really thinks the earth is flat.
Reliable idiot, Pat, is a good line. He's our top 5 most reliable idiot. Kyrie Irving. He's in
there. The other guy who only plays on that occasion he wants to, Harden, is actually playing pretty good for the Clippers now because he's trying to get a contract, right?
Yes.
Trying to get a contract.
Yes, he's very Moss-like. He's very Moss-like. He gets upset about his financial situation and bounces around, but he got there. Didn't they lose 5 consecutive games, the Clippers?
Yeah.
And now they're going great. So
now they're going good. But anyway, that's my favorite. That's still my favorite myth too, is that Childress couldn't get along with Moss, and that's why Moss acted like an idiot. No, we wouldn't pay him. Just like New England got rid of him because he started acting like a jerk because he wasn't going to get a new contract. And they traded for him, and they didn't offer him the money. And so he acted like an idiot, which he was an expert at when he wanted to be.
And he wasn't good, too. That was the problem. He was declining quickly.
Yes, he was. But, Belichick got the best last use out of him and then got rid of him. And what we end up giving him, like a third or something for him?
I think it was a third. I think it was a 3rd-round pick. Yeah.
I still think the Wolves made that trade. I still think that the owners wanted to make that trade. I don't think Chile ever wanted any part of them.
Well, if Sidney Reusse had just gotten what he wanted, because he asked for a contract after the Saints game and he was hurt and said, well, if I don't get a contract, I'm going to wait to have surgery.
Yeah.
That started the whole thing.
That whole training camp down there was the chaos, and Favre always was going to come back no matter what they said. He just didn't want to be in Mankato for spring. I don't know why he didn't like to be Mankato. There's drinking and partying and having a good time.
A young Favre would have loved Mankato.
Mankato, yes, right.
A young Favre would have been at Boomtown or the Albatross before that.
Yeah, he would have. So anyway, I don't think Alexander had too good a time against Jefferson anyway, right? He wasn't able to cover him anyway when he faced him.
No, he had success against him. It was Addison in the game in Green Bay.
Okay.
Where Kirk got hurt, who had a great game against him. Yeah. But I also just think he's mercurial cornerback, which there are quite a few. They're not rare.
It is a mystery to me how the Vikings and the Packers ended up with the same record, though. I thought,
I know.
Once our boys surged to 6-4, I did not imagine this, and of course Kirk got hurt. So
yep.
I will admit that I'd rather have Kirk play quarterback than Nick Mullins.
That's a hot take. That's a great way to end this. That's a very hot take. I like it
better than Nick. Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Patrick.
Bye.
That, of course, Reusse Unchained, sponsored by our friends Finch Home Solutions, Declan Goff. Finch Home Solutions. That truck, if you are watching this right now, that's the truck that's going to pull up in front of your house. That's the truck that's going to take care of all of your electrical problems. It might be big. It might be small. Heck, it might be you're going to install a hot tub. Well, guess what? Electrical work needs to be done. Finch Home Solutions can do that. You might be remodeling your kitchen. Finch Home Solutions can do that as well. My friend Cody Finch and his team, no matter what the project No project too big, no project too small. Give them a call, 612-357-2604, 612-357-2604, or go to their newly redesigned, easy to navigate website, finchhomesolutions.com, finchhomesolutions.com.